Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. This is War with Iran. Tonight, we begin with a two-week ceasefire deal seemingly on the rocks. The White House is touting it as a victory for President Trump, but acknowledging its fragile state. Vice President J.D. Vance now set to lead negotiations as a U.S. team heads to Pakistan this weekend for face-to-face talks with Iran. Late today, oil tankers were suspended from passing through the Strait of Hormuz after reports that Iran claims the U.S. breached the truce because Israel unleashed a barrage of deadly attacks in Lebanon today. Lebanon declaring tomorrow as a day of mourning, saying hundreds of innocent civilians were killed. But tonight, the U.S. says Lebanon was never a part of the deal. Mary Bruce leads us off from the White House.
The White House says the, quote, fragile ceasefire with Iran is holding, but tonight President Trump's key condition remains unmet, Iran refusing to reopen traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. Still, Vice President J.D. Vance, who is now leading negotiations, insists, quote, fundamentally, we're in a good spot.
No ceasefire ever goes without a little bit of choppiness.
Iran says it will not reopen the strait because they say the U.S. has gone back on what they claim was a key element of the truce, that Iran would stop bombarding Iranian-backed Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. Today, Israel unleashing a sprawling barrage of more than 100 attacks on the Lebanese capital Beirut, the most since the war began, killing at least 180 people, more than 1.2 million people displaced in the conflict. Iran's foreign minister declaring the world sees the massacres in Lebanon. The ball is in the U.S. court, and the world is watching whether it will act on its commitments. But Vance today saying Lebanon was never part of the ceasefire deal.
I think this comes from a legitimate misunderstanding. I think the Iranians thought that the ceasefire included Lebanon, and it just didn't. We never made that promise. We never indicated that was going to be the case.
One thing is clear, Iran still controls the strait. Before the war, ships could pass through free of charge. But President Trump now telling our John Carl the U.S. and Iran could work together one day to collect tolls, saying we're thinking of doing it as a joint venture. Any arrangement like that seems a long way off. And tonight the strait remains closed. The national average price for a gallon of gas now at $4.16, up $1.22 since the war began. Economists say it could take months to fall once the strait reopens. Today, the administration also pressed to explain the president's plan for halting Iran's nuclear program and moving their more than 900 pounds of enriched uranium out of the country.
They will either give it to us, which the president has